Learning how to properly use this one feature in Hell Let Loose will make you a more tactical player and allow you to have a better time while engaged in battles. If you watch this video till the end, I assure you your next game will be your best one yet. This is a very basic guide on map awareness. While you're alive in game, you're able to pull up your map by pressing M for PC or left select for console. The map allows for players to have a tactical bird's eye view of what is actively happening in battle. It holds invaluable information and shows where you are currently oriented. Know where you are. When the map is open, it'll show you exactly where you are located and what direction you're facing, using this little marker here. This is obviously important to know so you can make sure you're headed in the right direction. If your player is over here, but your squad is running in this direction, you are going to be left behind and most likely become MIA. Use your current orientation to plan a route towards objectives and teammates. Knowing where you are is the only way you can know where you are going. Territories. Knowing where you are is important, but now we need to talk about where we actually need to be. This is where territories come in. There are 3 types of territories in Hell Let Loose. Friendly, which is blue, enemy, which is red, and neutral, which is colorless. What happens with territories depends on what game modes you're playing, warfare and offensive. In warfare mode, it is a push and pull battle, where the goal is to either capture all of the enemy territory or hold the majority of the territory by the end of the hour-and-a-half match. Offensive mode is where one team starts by defending the entire map and the other team has to try and capture all the defending team's territory. The defending team wins by not allowing the attackers to capture a point within 30 minutes. This just in, we are slowly pushing back the algorithm. More and more soldiers are joining the war effort each day. With your help, we can deliver a decisive blow to the algorithm and achieve victory. With that in mind, let's talk about one of the most important concepts. Sectors and strong points. A sector is a 2x2 square that surrounds a strong point. Sectors are always touching one another across the entire map. Here's a few examples where I highlighted possible sectors on the map. There are 2 types of sectors, active and locked. Active sectors are the ones that are currently being fought over. The nearest locked sectors become active after a team captures the current sector. In warfare mode, you count as capturing territory if you are within the 2x2 active sector and strong point. In offensive mode, you can only capture territory while within the current strong point. Strong points are the area within a sector marked by a black circle. In warfare mode, being inside the strong point will count as 3 times capturing power. So if there's 3 enemies right here in the sector and 1 friendly in the strong point, then each team would have equal amount of capturing power in that sector, and it would be considered contested. This is why it's important to have well-placed spawn locations. There are 5 different ways you can spawn into the action, and they all have their unique pros and cons. All the possible spawn locations will be shown on the map. The first spawn point is the headquarters. There are 3 for each team located on the edges of each map. Headquarters have the quickest redeploy time of 10 seconds, but are usually the furthest from the action. If you want to get to the front lines quicker, try spawning on an outpost. These are squad-only spawns and can be placed by your squad's officer. They take 20 seconds to redeploy. Another spawn option is an airhead. These are placed anywhere on the map by commander and are great to use when attempting to flank a sector. Airheads take 30 seconds to spawn on, but hurry because they only last for 3 minutes. Looking for a mobile spawn? Well, look no further than the half-track. These are vehicles that can be driven anywhere on the map and when parked are able to spawn on. These take 60 seconds to redeploy and are a great way to get lots of soldiers in a sector. Now, one of the most important spawns are garrisons. The whole team can spawn on these, and because of that, they are very strategically important to the game. Garrisons take 40 seconds to redeploy at, and can be the deciding factor of whether or not your team achieves victory. So let's look into garrisons a bit closer. Garrison placement. When it comes to garrisons, the most important thing to do is put them down. Even if it's not ideal placement, having any is better than none. A team can have up to 8 garrisons down at once, and they should utilize all of them. The more garrisons down equals the more opportunities your team has to spawn. This way a team doesn't have to run across the map to defend a point. If you take a look on the map, you can see where your team has garrisons down. They need to be 200 meters apart from each other, so when deciding where to put another, be sure to keep that distance in mind. If you want to have a strategic garrison placement, this is where your newly obtained knowledge of sectors and strongpoints comes in handy. The area between two adjacent sectors is where most of the fighting is going to happen. If you understand sector layout, then you'll have a good idea on where most of the fighting will be. This can allow you to place garrisons in great defending positions or flanking positions. Now let's show an example. So for the enemies to capture this sector, they will most likely run in this direction. If we know this, then we can put down a defensive garrison and intersect the attacks, and a flanking garrison here to avoid most of the enemy forces. This is what we call surrounding the enemy position. Knowing this concept is key to winning battles in Hell Let Loose. We can go into more detail about this subject in another video, but for now just understand the basics. Now let's do a quick briefing on resource icons. When you open your map, you'll see these icons on the top. These are the team's resources. There is supplies, manpower, and fuel. The number next to them shows how much of each resource your team currently has. Resources are important for your team's logistics. I'm going to do a full video on logistics, but for now, just understand that these are resources and they are generated from nodes that are built by engineers. The commander needs these to do almost anything, so the more you have, the better shape your team is in. While your map is open, you will also see lots of other markers and icons scattered throughout it. You can hover over these with your mouse to learn what they are. These are important to pay attention to and can give you information such as where the enemies are coming from, where your squad is moving to, where to fire artillery, or if there's a friendly bombing run on the way and you're directly in its path. When used correctly, these markers can help you understand what's going on around you. Congrats! You've made it this far. You are now a well-educated soldier and can use this knowledge in your next game. But before you deploy, consider watching this video here. It may leave you in tears and have you reconsider your life on the front lines. Thank you for watching, soldier.